Let's dive into the full narrated chapter of Hunter's Hunter 403, right after the intro. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Before we get into this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Now, let's get to the video. On Wednesday morning at 6:45 a.m., the chapter opens showing the entrance of the courthouse and the prosecutor's office, located on the second level of the judicial building. Officer Balsamico is present, thinking to himself, there are no guards from the 9th Prince around the courthouse. The 4th Prince's guards are being watched in the VIP area, and the others were scattered to the 3rd level or below during the reorganization. There's no ally left by Prince Halkenburg'S side to create that powerful blast. Balsamico continues to think, if I attack the prince during the cross-examination, the lethality rate will be 100%. He has no way to escape. Even though there's less than a 2% chance, the judge and defense attorney, unaware of the situation, might become infected just by breathing normally. Since there's no audience in the courtroom, the chance of a pandemic is extremely low, but in that unlikely event, it would be contained through a special martial law decree. Page 3. He arrives at a corridor and sees two people talking. An officer catches his attention. Balsamico, stunned, recognizes him. Vito. Still thinking, Balsamico reflects, that blast. Impossible. There's no way even a bodyguard could be with Prince Halkenburg. He asks, what the hell happened? Vito then begins making hand signals, and Balsamico thinks, military tactical signals. This conversation is classified. Prince Halkenburg's ability, the secret, has been revealed. The 9th Prince, generating an aura, says, the 1st Prince's troop commander is 39 feet away from two people. Height, 82 feet. Width, 39 feet. Adjusting the firing angle to 26. Grim dissonances. Fire. Then a flash of Nen is fired. The scene shifts to room 1001, where someone is on the phone. It's 1st Prince Benjamin, who says, the trial hasn't started yet. The person on the phone responds, not yet. There was a request to change the schedule from both parties. Benjamin asks, from both parties? Why? The reply comes, the prosecution couldn't prepare due to technical issues. That excuse was rejected by the court, but the defense's request was based on a claim of health problems on the defendant's side, and that was granted. It seems they're waiting for him to recover before the trial begins. Benjamin, irritated, responds, what the hell? He then thinks, it doesn't make sense to consider technical problems as a reason for the mission not being executed. Is it a metaphor? No. Prince Halkenburg's ability was activated just before this. It was an attack on the captain. But if he was the target, why did the prince fall ill? First of all, how did he manage to activate his ability? Alone? No, that's impossible. A draw. If the captain realized the ability was activated, attacked, and launched the TSK-17, even so, it's too early for the TSK-17 symptoms to manifest. There must be another reason. Benjamin then says, if you get any information about Prince Halkenburg's condition, let me know. The person on the phone responds, he suddenly collapsed, reporting he felt unwell. Now he's resting in the infirmary, and from what I've heard, his condition is stable. Benjamin asks, by the way, was anyone nearby when it happened? The person replies, yes, it seems around 10 people were with him, helping him. Some of them are still there, looking after him. Benjamin thinks, I see. So the allies are cooperating with the ability's activation, but if their loyalty is strong, the association isn't mandatory. The person on the phone continues, oh yes, Prince Benjamin, the captain just arrived here. He said he'd like to speak with your highness, so I'll pass the phone to him now. Benjamin says, all right. Meanwhile, in his thoughts, he reflects, there's a high chance it's a trap. Prince Halkenburg's health issue is a lie. The captain was probably attacked by him and is now trying to speak with me against his will, which means Prince Halkenburg's ability is forced manipulation. The limitation the captain mentioned during Shikaku's mission, the manipulation ability favors the fastest, is effective in individual duels, but it's more logical to assume that this rule doesn't apply to a united group using a powerful Nen. The person on the phone then says, "Hello, Prince Benjamin. This is Captain Balsamico." Benjamin responds, "Yes, what the hell happened?" While speaking, Benjamin thinks, "I'll test how far you'll go." Page 7, Balsamic states that the mission is still incomplete, mentioning that the prince's retinue postponed the trial, citing issues. He asks Benjamin if he heard the noise earlier, to which Benjamin responds affirmatively. Balsamic explains that he was attacked with a Nen arrow but wasn't hit, and this occurred right after the prince fell unconscious. He believes the prince fainted from exhaustion after using his ability repeatedly in a short period, or that it's a side effect of using civilians instead of guards. Benjamin, in his thoughts, reflects on the explanation and thinks that the health issue was fabricated to delay the trial. He asks Balsamic if there's no forecast for the trial to begin, to which Balsamic confirms. With energy, Benjamin warns Balsamic that if he returns without completing the mission, it will be considered a coup in collusion with the Ninth Prince, and he will enforce martial law, executing both. Balsamic says he understands and asks permission to meet Prince Halkenburg, believing there are several supporters with him in the infirmary. He asks what Benjamin suggests. Benjamin, in his thoughts, suspects that Balsamic is trying to use the time to deceive him, but responds that he leaves all decisions up to him, and what matters is the result. Balsamic states that after the prince used his ability, he realizes he is closer to being guilty than innocent and that he won't return until the mission is complete. He promises that Benjamin will be informed of the positive result later that night. Presentation box, Day 11, Wednesday, 7:50 a.m. Benjamin wonders if what the captain is saying is true. He reflects that until the mission is perfectly completed, the situation seems suspicious, reinforcing the idea that it's a trap to keep them waiting. He orders everyone to stay on alert until they discover what happened, and instructs that if Balsamic leaves the building without informing them, martial law will be applied immediately. Someone responds, "Understood." Another person informs him that a judicial branch representative, accompanied by Prince Fujetsu, is requesting to deliver something to Benjamin. In his thoughts, Benjamin considers that his connection with the judicial branch will remain even after he becomes king. And he responds, "I understand. Let them through." In his thoughts, he concludes that he wants to take advantage of the opportunity to exchange information and maintain a good relationship with them. Page 8. The scene shifts to the first queen on the phone. She says she's proud of Prince Halkenburg, her beloved son, and supports his decisions, despite not being able to meet him for dinner. The scene then reveals the content of a letter, which states that Prince Halkenburg's true mother is Queen Unma. The letter mentions that everyone remains silent out of fear of being accused of treason. But since the sender is already dead, she can speak. The letter suggests that Queen Unma may have secretly asked Queen Duazul to change the order of succession to protect Halkenburg from the assassinations planned by his siblings. The letter raises the suspicion that Queen Unma has been secretly helping Halkenburg since the beginning of the succession war. Benjamin, after reading the letter, concludes that the content is normal, with no political intentions, and sees no need to disclose it. In his thoughts, Benjamin reflects that although the 10th princess is cunning and capable of strategizing for her sister's sake, he believes this is just a bluff. Even if there were more letters and evidence, he doubts she has enough information to surpass his political abilities. Page 10. The four princes are reading the letters. Melody informs them that only the 4th, 13th, and 9th princes who is undergoing treatment refuse to receive the letters. Kacho laments, saying he wished Serednich had read his. He truly refused. Kaiser adds that not only did he refuse, but he also ordered it to be thrown away as soon as the request was made. Kacho reflects that if at least one of them takes interest in the accusation, it will be enough. He suggests they could use Fuchan as an intermediary for the information. However, Melody points out that this is precisely the problem. While reading his letter, Prince Benjamin comments, just internet rumors, nothing serious. Kaiser reminds everyone that they succeeded in their initial objective, which was to reach Prince Luzurus' room. Kacho agrees with Kaiser. Page 11. Melody informs them that thanks to Basho, the malevolent spirits will no longer haunt the person, even when she's alone. She reinforces that they should let her rest and that her recovery is the top priority now. Cacho agrees, stating it would be a disaster if she were exhausted and unable to use her ability at a crucial moment. Kaiser also remarks that they need to rest. Cacho then informs them that the consultation will be tomorrow, Thursday evening. The scene shifts to room 1 Tevum 14. Kurapika is talking to the 8th Queen, saying that during the Succession War, anyone who tries to flee the ship faces the punishment of death. The 8th Queen comments that the ship has become a bottle of poison, and there is no choice. The war must continue, with the princes fighting each other until only one remains. Kurapika agrees and explains that a Nen barrier covers the entire ship, imposing a restriction that prevents escape. Although it seems that death is inevitable at first glance, he sees a light at the end of the tunnel. Curious, the 8th Queen asks what he means, and Kurapika explains that there is something he needs to do to protect the Queen, Prince Wobble, and others, but he needs her permission to do so. The 8th Queen, intrigued, asks what he needs permission for. The scene shifts to room 1003. The third prince is examining coins and comments that his Nen beast has produced 7 coins so far, in addition to 3 others he has already distributed. However, one of the coins now shows the number 10 instead of 1. Page 12, he shares with his subordinates that the situation is problematic and asks for their opinions. One subordinate suggests that a coin is created each day, causing the coin's value to change in 10 days, and that this is the first change. The third prince agrees and proposes they put the date of 10 days on the 10 coin. From now on, the new coins will have the date of manufacture recorded and will be monitored to verify the hypothesis in 10 days. He asks for more opinions. Another subordinate suggests monitoring the coins that have been distributed, while another proposes that the coins might grant value to the holder or reveal variables that indicate this value. Yet another subordinate intervenes, suggesting they simplify things and use the growing coins as they are. Another adds that if the coin's value increases every 10 days, the 10 coin will become 10,000 after a month. The third prince, thoughtful, mentions that after 630 days they will be able to use the Palpunte, referring to a spell with random effects from the game Dragon Quest. Finally, he orders them to call room 1114. In his thoughts, he reflects that the ability and effect of his Nen beast may also influence the results of the Succession War, and to win, he will definitely need Kurapika's help. Page 13. The scene shifts to the entrance of the tribunal and prosecution office on the 2nd level of the judicial building. We see Kaiser commenting, "No issues. Regarding the group fainting, I was also informed in advance by Prince Halkenburg'S entourage." Kaiser recalls Halkenburg explaining, "It's possible that a phenomenon similar to group hypnosis will occur after my meeting with you. But don't worry, it's a mix of fraternal joy and the release of excessive stress. You'll regain consciousness shortly." Kaiser continues, "We received reports that several of the prince's supporters, around 10 people, fainted simultaneously in the waiting room after meeting with him. From what I heard, according to him, they recovered successfully, and there are no abnormal side effects." Someone speaking with him comments, "But to be honest, there's something that worries me. One of the staff members who was present at the meeting also fainted, showing the same symptoms, but the location and time were different." In his thoughts, Kaiser reflects, "I can't believe it was a coincidence." He says, "It wasn't just coincidence. Well, it won't hurt to interrogate him. Where is he?" Again, in his thoughts, Kaiser continues, "If we want to uncover Prince Halkenburg's goals and establish an agreement, it might be worth being honest about our situation. But," the person responds, "he's being kept in his room, supposedly to be examined and observed." Kaiser replies, "Understood, I'll interrogate him." In his thoughts, Kaiser wonders, "I don't know what Prince Halkenburg, who values justice and fairness, thinks of my actions." Kaiser asks, "Can you tell me where his room is and what his name is?" The person responds, "His name is Wario Bay. His room is E6. In his thoughts, Kaiser concludes, "It's not safe to meet the prince directly." Page 14. Kaiser then meets with the person named Wario Bai. Kaiser asks, I assure you that nothing said here will affect your position within the judicial branch, no matter what. We've already concluded that external abilities are being used in the succession war. Prince Kacho tried to use these abilities to escape, but it cost her life. Kaiser continues, this ship seems to be surrounded by a barrier blessed by the king himself. I'm not the type to waste time with idle talk or wild ideas. Nen powers exist, and the princes are using them to fight. I can put aside my role as the chief prosecutor of the judicial branch and support Prince Halkenburg, but only if he vows to protect Prince Fugetsu. Wario then raises his hand, showing a mark. Kaiser observes and comments, that's the mark of the 9th prince. Wario responds, he asked me to show this to you if you spoke to me about Nen abilities. The prince expected me to come to you. There's no way you wouldn't suspect the mass fainting. And if you didn't go directly to the prince, it means you're being cautious. In other words, you've probably figured out about Nen abilities. Kaiser, impressed, says, sharp. Wario then concludes, Prince Halkenburg will soon die. Page 15. The scene shifts, and we see Benjamin on the phone. He asks, are you sure about that? Balsamico responds, yes, the mission was successfully completed. As planned, you'll have your confirmation tonight. The scene cuts to Prince Halkenburg lying on a bed surrounded by people. Kaiser enters the room, observing the situation. In room 1-14, Queen 8 asks, do you want us to disclose the contents of the letter? Kurapika responds, yes. The second Nen training will begin tomorrow. As with the last time, I'll inform all the princes and they can choose to participate, but I'll also inform them that the letter will be disclosed. However, it's clear that this wasn't a letter sent to me, but to your majesty. Queen 8, intrigued, asks, why is this necessary? Kurapika explains, for 3 reasons. First, to prevent unnecessary suspicion. The letters from the high-ranking princes reveal scandals and crimes against one another. Concerns that the lower-ranking princes might have secrets could further accelerate the confrontation between them. He continues, second, by communicating Prince Fugetsu's sentiments, I want to at least attempt to slow down the succession war. Lastly, he concludes, by informing them ahead of time about the disclosure, I hope that the higher-ranking princes might reach out in some way. Admittedly, there's a high chance this will be in vain. Depending on who approaches and their message, there could be negotiations to suspend, delay, or cancel the publication of the letter. The chapter ends with Queen 8 leaving the room. The final text says, using the letter as a starting point, Kurapika finally enters the race. And that was the narrated chapter of Hunter x Hunter. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. See you next time, and thanks.